Welcome to Leading in Luxury, the podcast where we dive deep into the strategies and stories shaping the boutique and luxury hospitality industry. I'm your host, Daniel Renna. For those of you just joining us, we are DMR AI Hospitality Solutions, and we specialize in helping the boutique and luxury hospitality industry scale their revenue and profitability by acquiring new clients. We believe in leveraging cutting-edge technology to enhance, not replace, the human element of hospitality. Today we have a truly innovative guest, Tim Mills. Tim is the co-founder of Say 86, a B2B marketplace designed to revolutionize how hospitality operators connect with vetted suppliers. With a background as a seasoned operator, including opening a Michelin-starred Japanese restaurant, Tim brings a deep first-hand understanding of the industry's operational complexities and the critical need for efficiency. His mission is to simplify procurement and empower operators to make smarter, data-driven decisions. Tim, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's great to be on with you, Daniel. Actually, great.
Indeed. Your journey from hands-on operator to co-founding Say 86, a B2B marketplace for hospitality, is incredibly compelling. Can you start by telling us about Say 86, the critical problem it solves for operators, and what inspired you to create a platform that you wish you had quite a few years ago?
Yeah, so Say 86 has been designed to cater for every single need that any operator of any variety of hospitality could need. So it includes everything from fine wine suppliers through to lawyers, through to interior designers, uniform suppliers, every single sector of support that the industry needs, we've encompassed within the platform. So how the platform came about, I've been operating for about 30 plus years in hospitality, everything from kind of QSR through to five-star hotels, Michelin-star restaurants. And there's been so many occasions where I've needed something of some sort. And in actual fact, it's what I love about the hospitality industry. Every single day, a challenge will be thrown at you that you as an operator have to find an answer to. And so I came across this idea of why haven't we not got a platform where an operator of any sort can find every single variety of supply and support they need at any time of the day. So I've partnered with a great team of marketing and IT design companies, and we've put together a platform where an operator can simply put in one word of their requirement. So it could be, as I said, legals, it could be product. And then with the use of AI, they'll answer a couple of multiple choice questions, and it will then take them through to a list of suppliers. The suppliers will simultaneously get an app and also an update on the platform advising them of the inquiry, and they can then decide whether to accept or decline the offer and then communicate directly with the operator. So the operator in the palm of their hand on their phone has all of these receptions coming through from the suppliers, and they can then decide which one to accept. They can decline them all, or they can take it from there. So it really is a seamless platform for supply and support.
That's such a powerful vision, Tim. Creating a single vetted platform to simplify procurement in an industry that's currently fragmented by endless Google searches and Amazon-like experiences. So you've identified that one of the biggest obstacles is getting hospitality operators to think outside the box and overcome their reluctance to change, especially when it comes to long-standing relationships with suppliers. What strategies are you employing to break through this ingrained resistance? And how do you demonstrate the tangible benefits of Say 86 to operators who are accustomed to traditional one-to-one supplier relationships?
Yeah, we've had to think outside the box as well as asking the operators to do the same because, I've been in situations where I've had great loyalty and great relationships with suppliers for 10 plus years. We know each other's families and the camaraderie is really there, and also the loyalty towards them. What we're having to do in this economy as operators is really look at the economy itself and say that perhaps we just can't afford to stay with a supplier that we've been with for 10 years and that we're then needing to look at alternatives. So what I'm doing when I'm speaking to individual operators, because I'm going around restaurants, bars, hotels, and myself personally, and when I speak to operators, I advise that, listen, we're not here to fragment relationships. That's not what we're about. We're here simply to find a better alternative for operators because the economy now here in the UK, and it's obviously international as well, is in a very difficult situation for hospitality. It's been hit harder than most industries. And so it's forcing everybody to make considerations for other parties. So it's kind of us bringing together these two sides because, a B2B marketplace is all about bringing together both sides. Could both sides benefit from it? The operators get better supply and support, and the suppliers get more customers. So that's how we're kind of bringing this industry together on both sides and saying that right now, today, we don't want businesses going down because they are at a great rate. We want that to stop. And a way of doing that is through procurement and more effective supply and support. And so that's really the discussions we've had. And I've met with some of the leading, not suppliers, but the leading operators here in the UK, some major brands with 100 plus locations. And I've even sat down with them and said, guys, listen, you've got great pulling power within your procurement, but even you have to now think about alternatives. And they are doing so because it's everyone for themselves, really it is.
Well, and that's a significant challenge, right? And you also touched on the proliferation of technology in hotels, noting that a single property can have 25 different systems, from CCTV to spa reservations, all operating disparately. How does this fragmentation of technology impact a hotelier's ability to operate efficiently, manage costs, and ultimately focus on the guest experience? And how does Say 86, as a B2B marketplace, aim to simplify this complex technological landscape, even if it's not directly integrating all 25 systems, by providing a more streamlined approach to procurement and operational needs?
Yeah, how it impacts the hoteliers. I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you, how they can sit down with all these systems and not expect them to talk to each other. Because, I've met with several hoteliers, and also I've been at, hospitality and catering events where I've met suppliers of these systems. And when I first heard about the fact that now you're actually bringing in AI as well, where you've got all these automated reception services, how there isn't one or two systems that are bringing these platforms together absolutely amazes me. And there I feel is the opportunity, obviously, for tech suppliers to be able to put something like that in place where they incorporate every single variety of IT and tech that the hotels need. I think with Gen Z certainly coming into it, where everything these guys work with and work towards is automated in some way, it's going to happen very quickly, because I think operators now, you're getting into managerial positions, people in their 20s and rising up the career ladder to senior positions. They're going to say, listen, this is crazy. Why are we doing this? Because you're having to train and develop people on these different systems. So every time you lose a team member, you've then got to go back to stage one. You're having to financially cost, because I'm sure a lot of these are on subscription or license purposes, the way they're paid for. And so all of these kind of aspects are coming into the game now, where it's time for change. And I tell you, if I knew how to do it, I would do, because it seems to me there's a terrific opportunity for a company to do so.
Well, and that's a critical point. I mean, the sheer complexity of managing so many disparate systems. And so, like the point that you were making about Gen Z, considering those generational shifts and growing need for efficiency, how do you see AI playing a role in accelerating the adoption of platforms like, say, 86 and other integrated solutions within hospitality? And what specific AI applications do you believe can best help operators, particularly those old school restaurateurs or hoteliers, bridge the gap between their traditional ways and the modern demands for data-driven decision-making and streamlined operations?
Yeah, we know at the moment ChatGPT is taking over. And in fact, I've used it probably 10 times today in various capacities. And that at the moment is kind of the first line of support that operators have, hoteliers have, and obviously the ones that are kind of older than Generation Z, then they're obviously getting it slowly but surely, as I am. But I think that's where the opportunity is, and where ChatGPT, I think, as an example, fails or doesn't support as much as 6 does, is that if you put an inquiry into ChatGPT, it'll give you a list of 10 suppliers for that particular object. If you need a wine glass, it'll give you 10 suppliers. What you then have to do as the operator is contact each of those 10 suppliers with your inquiry. So you go down the list, you contact them, you then wait for a reply for them. You then have to answer their inquiry if they have one back to you, what size, what shape. And so the form of communication is so delayed and so slow. This is where Say86 is going to come into play, because what Say86 will do is it'll answer all those questions for you. And with AI, you can even attach photography of an item that you've seen, and it will then get sent out direct to the supplier. So there's no backward and forward communication. And I guess one day ChatGPT and the other AI solutions may come up with something very similar. And, who knows, like what's going to happen with the rest of AI. But right now, this is a solution to a problem that ChatGPT simply can't provide. And that's where we feel confident this platform has great standing.
Your insights into hospitality procurement, technological fragmentation, and the industry's resistance to change are incredibly valuable. You've painted a clear picture of the complexities and opportunities in modernizing hospitality operations. Now look at everything we've discussed, from simplifying supplier relationships and overcoming reluctance to change, to addressing technological fragmentation and leveraging AI for efficiency. If you had a magic wand and could fix just one thing in the luxury hospitality industry that would most significantly enable operators to embrace innovation, streamline their operations, and ultimately focus more on delivering exceptional guest experiences, what would that one thing be?
From experience, what I found within hotels was you'd have 3 or 4 people within infrastructure, that perhaps you'd have 1 or 2 people within the other hospitality sectors, the restaurants, the bars, the pubs, etc. And I think that somehow does delay, because you're having to go up a ladder, as I said, that has double the amount of people than you would otherwise. And so what I think within the restaurant market, if we use that as an example, you're able to think far quicker about solutions to problems that you face, as I said, frequently. Or you want to have marketing campaigns. You only need to liaise with 3 or 4 people and brainstorm, versus climb up a ladder and get approval after approval. So I think that's one aspect of hotels that kind of delays how they operate, that potentially could be tweaked. But I appreciate these are international brands, some of them, that need some sort of infrastructure like this. But I imagine that you bring AI into the equation where it can skip some of this infrastructure in some way, or listen, it could even replace roles as it is in a lot of industries. I think it's going to speed up the process and actually become more effective.
Tim, this has been an absolutely captivating conversation, and your vision for Say 86 and your deep understanding of the operational realities in hospitality are truly inspiring. Thanks so much for joining us on Leading in Luxury.
Yeah, you're very welcome, Daniel. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, if you found Tim's insights as compelling as I did, be sure to subscribe to our channel and drop us a like. You can find more about Say 86 and their innovative B2B marketplace in the description below. For Leading in Luxury, I'm Daniel Renna, and I'll see you next time.